It is 95 degrees Fahrenheit. My apartment has no air conditioning, and I just paid $400 to be told my refrigerant is haunted. But somehow, a toga-wearing senator who thought brain medicine meant drilling a hole in his skull figured out how to keep cool better than you. Today, we're stealing Rome's lost summer secrets, and yes, it involves blood and a very confused pigeon. Stick around, because the way Romans beat the heat will make you realize you've been using your curtains wrong your entire life. Let's kill the myth first. Romans weren't masochists. They just looked at the sun and said, what if we built a giant refrigerator out of rocks? Enter the domus, the rich person's house. They didn't have compressors, but they had flow. The secret? A narrow hallway called the cava maedium. Sounds fancy. It's a wind tunnel. They'd put one tiny door facing the prevailing summer breeze, and another door on the exact opposite wall. Physics does the rest. That breeze gets squeezed through the hall, speeds up, and drops the temperature by 10-15 degrees. It's Bernoulli's principle. But 2,000 years before Bernoulli was even a twinkle in his dad's math textbook. Meanwhile, in 2024, your apartment has a breeze, because your neighbor's weed smoke is leaking through a hole drilled for a cable box. And the walls? Double layered. Hollow inside. Hot air rises out through roof vents. Cold air sinks in from shaded courtyards. It's basically a PC gaming tower for humans. You've heard of Roman aqueducts. You think, cool, they invented plumbing. Wrong. They invented air conditioning by accident. See, the aqueducts didn't just carry water, they carried cold water. Underground channels stayed at 50 Fahrenheit year-round. And what do you think happened when that cold water ran through the walls of rich people's houses? Condensation, baby. They lined their walls with tubuli, hollow clay boxes. Cold water ran down behind the plaster. The walls literally sweated for you. Modern HVAC guys call this radiant cooling. Romans called it Tuesday. But the poor Romans, no aqueduct in your apartment, no problem. They hung wet linens over their windows and doors. Evaporative cooling. As the water evaporated, it sucked heat right out of the air. It's the same science as a swamp cooler, which is why I need you to do something right now. Go wet a bedsheet. Hang it in front of an open window. Feel that drop? That's a Roman slave trick. And it works better than that $50 fan you bought on Amazon that sounds like a helicopter crashing. Here's where it gets hilarious. You in August eat a spicy ramen challenge and then wonder why you're melting. Romans looked at food like a thermostat. Rule 1. No heavy meats at noon. That pork belly? That's internal central heating. Instead, they ate cucumbers. Pliny the Elder, that guy who died looking at a volcano, literally wrote a manual saying, cucumbers eaten cold calm the heat of the body. He wasn't wrong. Cucumbers are 96% water. Rule 2. Wine but diluted. They thought pure wine heated the blood. So they cut it with cold, sometimes snowy water. Yeah, snow, in summer. They imported alpine snow packed in straw, stored in underground ice houses called cella paneria. That's right, Romans had delivery ice before your DoorDasher could find your apartment. So while you're sipping a hot latte in 90-degree weather, a Roman soldier is eating a frozen grape snow cone. Who's the barbarian now? Okay, the weird part, Rome didn't have 9 to 5. They had the siesta, but cranked to 11. The cubicular, their bedroom, was only used for sleeping at night. At midday, they moved to a cella, a small windowless room in the basement or interior of the house. No windows, thick stone walls. It's basically a cave you put a bed in. And they didn't work noon to 3 p.m. That was odium, sacred lazy time. They napped, they read scrolls, they fanned themselves with peacock feathers. And here's my favorite, the ventilatio. Servants waving giant wooden fans soaked in vinegar water. The vinegar slightly stung the eyes, yes, but it also killed airborne bacteria and made the air feel sharply cold. Imagine a TikTok influencer complaining, "Ugh, my fan servant used the wrong vinegar. It's giving balsamic. We have lost our way as a species." So no, the Romans didn't have Freon or compressors, but they understood physics, architecture, and laziness better than we do. They used wind tunnels, cold walls, wet sheets, snow delivery, and aggressive afternoon naps. And you just complained about your smart thermostat being 2 degrees off. The next time it's 100 degrees out, don't crank the AC. Hang a wet sheet, take a cold cucumber nap, and if someone asks why you're lying on the floor at 2 p.m., tell them you're practicing odium. You're not lazy. You're historical. Like and subscribe for more ancient life hacks that modern billionaires are stealing from dead people. And comment, what's the worst thing you've done to stay cool? Because I once sat in a grocery store freezer aisle for an hour. No regrets.